Okay, everybody. Good morning. It's Friday. And I thought I was just going to do one show, but when you find good stuff and when important things come out, I got to get it out. So we got the news for us, lady. 1 hour. Everybody, one of everybody's favorites. I want to play it now, so I don't have to play it tonight because Billy Bean might have something along. And I got a bunch of other. I found some new videos that are good. I hope. So, well, Kimberly, I'm glad you didn't leave us. Worried about you. Um, you've been that busy, huh? There's so much going on. I was going to do one show, but when you have to get the news out, there's so much news to get out. I hate to burn myself out, but I'm going to go as long as I can. We got the News Force finally come out with a long one. She has an hour. We haven't heard her in a long, well, we had a short clip. Did you ever get my email so I can get contact with you? You talked to Kay and everybody on the phone? You remember Watt, don't you? Watts? All right, here's my email so we can get connected and meet everybody on the phone there. Got something to write with. There it is. Yeah, I guess Ann stepped away. She just was just stressed out, I think, and she didn't think nothing was happening. And I tried getting her back, but she never responded. Are you off today? You gonna be able to be back in the shows again? I got Flying Eagle as a mod now, so he comes in most of the time. And Andrew, just be respectful of all the new people, and I hate to block people. That's good. There's a lot going on. I just got a thing on Telegram about Tina Peters headline that she might be free soon. So that's some big news. Did you hear the State of the Union, Kimberly? What do you think of that? That was something. Did you get it, Kimberly? I'm gonna delete this. Okay, good. Can't wait to hear from you. We'll get talking with Kay and Carol and everybody. KKK, we got news for us, lady. About an hour. That's why I had to come on because there's what I said to you yesterday. There's so much stuff coming out. Hopefully, I won't get burned out. What did you think of Christie getting fired, Kimberly? Is that part of the plan? I thought, yeah, there were some photos on Telegram that she had a double. She was a double with someone. And also, everybody, what do you guys think of Britney Spears getting arrested for DUI? I wonder if that's a distraction. Yeah, what do you think of that hearing? That hearing was something, Kimberly. All right, I guess we will get started. Hopefully, Lucy will get connected here. Never, everybody else. I think it must be working. Oh, the sleeper. I don't know what that means. Okay, I want to show some photos first. I just saw this just now. Just now came out. What do you guys think of that photo? Cold now? Can I shut the window, Chico? Okay, here's a.
across the room. Peter's team claims that she was assaulted, defended herself, got injured, and is being punished with solitary confinement and the threat of a felony assault charge. All while President Trump delivers blows of a different sort to Colorado, withholding funding and moving government installations out of state because Colorado will not release his political ally, who's in prison for breaching voting systems in an unsuccessful search for election rigging. In the incident caught on camera Sunday night, Peter steps out of view in a doorway. Another inmate approaches and is partially obscured by the doorway for about a second. Then Peters is seen pushing her back across the room. The Department of Corrections says neither woman was hurt, that they were separated for their own safety, and that Peters is not in solitary. This isn't the first physical altercation involving the former Mesa County clerk that's been caught on camera. In 2022, she was seen kicking at a police officer, serving her with a search warrant in a bagel shop in Grand Junction. Court documents say officers told Peters, "Do not kick. Do you understand?"
Okay. Thanks, Kay. I didn't know. Sorry, guys. All right, let's see what we got here. I got a new channel I found. I don't recall playing this one, you guys. This channel. Did we play these videos yet?
So 2026, President's information cutoff is 2200. Bottom line up front.
4 minutes.
Gulf War continues as Allied radar installations targeted by Iranian forces. U.S. Navy sinks Iranian frigate off coast of Sri Lanka. Beginning with international events. In the Middle East, the large-scale bombing of targets within Iran continues, with hundreds of bombs being dropped day and night. Around the region, overnight, satellite imagery confirmed Iranian forces have successfully struck multiple American air defense installations. Concerning American battle damage, the following radar arrays have been damaged or destroyed since the conflict began. In Qatar, an AN-FPS-132 Block 5 array was hit with unknown damage. In Kuwait, 3 unknown radomes were destroyed. In Bahrain, 2 ANGSC-52B radomes were destroyed. In the UAE, a THAAD battery at Al Ruwais was confirmed struck with unknown damage. In Saudi Arabia, a TPY-2 radar site used with the THAAD system was struck at Prince Sultan Air Base. And in Jordan, a THAAD battery at Mufawaq Salti Air Base was possibly struck with unknown damage. Analysts comment, these radar arrays are not tiny fire control systems mounted on a Humvee. These are major strategic assets for air defense throughout the hemisphere, not just the Middle East. The FPS-132 alone costs over $1 billion, and there are only 6 of these sites in the entire world. Similarly, there are only 9 THAAD batteries in existence globally, and the Iranians just hit 1, possibly 2 of them, with a munition that cost about $30,000 each. In the Strait of Hormuz, the war on the high seas continues as multiple commercial vessels have been struck by drones overnight. The UK Maritime Trade Operations Centre has reported a total of 4 commercial vessels being hit with unknown munitions over the past 24 hours, sustaining unknown damage. 2 container ships, a bulk cargo carrier, and a tanker vessel were all hit or targeted by unknown munitions. Analysts comment, merchant traffic within the strait is mostly at a standstill as nobody wants to run the gauntlet and risk hundreds of millions of dollars if something goes wrong. At this present time, drone and missile attacks are effective enough to prevent any large merchant vessel from transiting the waterway. In Turkey this morning, the Turkish Defense Ministry stated that an Iranian ballistic missile was shot down in their country. The missile was shot down by a U.S. Navy vessel in the Eastern Med, and the debris landed near the town of Dortil in the southeastern region of the country. In Lebanon, the Israeli ground invasion continues, with the IDF ordering the evacuation of Lebanese citizens to the north of the Litani River. Roughly 15% of the land mass of Lebanon has been ordered to evacuate by Israel as the IDF continues pushing north. In the Indian Ocean, this morning, the U.S. Navy torpedoed an Iranian frigate off the coast of Sri Lanka. The IRIS Dino was sunk by an American submarine, with the crew abandoning ship overnight. The Sri Lankan Navy has conducted rescue operations of about 30 survivors, with about half of the crew remaining missing. Analyst comments for this wire. Regarding the evacuations of Americans from the Middle East, so far the situation is complicated. The U.S. State Department has provided emergency phone numbers for Americans stranded overseas to call, but reports are mixed regarding Americans actually being evacuated. Commercial flights remain sporadic, and most Americans stranded in the region are being told to sit tight until flights are available. Airspace closures remain throughout the entire region, and most airlines are attempting to fly out whenever they can. Dubai is the world's busiest airport, and so far it's been averaging a few dozen flights in and out each day, when previously the average was over 1,000 flights per day. The smaller airport in Muscat, Oman is the next closest hub from which evacuations are occurring. However, it's nearly all private aircraft at this point, since all commercial options have been booked. Considering the damage that has likely been done to American radar sites around the region, if it is true that early warning capabilities have been degraded as a result of Iranian strikes, more serious targeting efforts could continue over the next few days. Although the systems that have been hit are mostly for high-altitude ballistic missile threats and not the smaller drones that are threatening the Gulf states most effectively at the moment. This is the fundamental nature of this war. Every single missile interception has to succeed every single time, but the Iranians only have to be successful once to cause enough uncertainty, both with maritime shipping and civil aviation, to cause problems. This concludes the wire for 2300 Zulu, March 4th, 2026.
Okay, that was good. I got March 3rd. I'll get one more. $6 on this one.
2026. Press 15. Information cutoff is 1900. Bottom line up front. Drone and missile attacks continue throughout the Persian Gulf. Saudi forces deploy to quell riots in Bahrain. Major oil facilities shut down throughout Middle East due to strikes. Israel launches ground invasion of Lebanon. Beginning with international events, in the Middle East, the Gulf War continues as Iranian forces begin shifting to strategic targets. Most of the drone and missile attacks overnight targeted oil production facilities such as the Fujairah industrial zone in the UAE, which has been taken offline. Otherwise, the attacks on American installations continue, with the American embassy in Riyadh being hit multiple times by drones overnight. In Bahrain, significant riots have broken out around the country as the majority Shia population begins expressing dissent with the Sunni government, and more specifically the American presence within the nation. Saudi forces crossed the bridge this morning with anti-riot forces to help quell the more kinetic protests, which have become intense over the past 24 hours. Analysts comment, politics in Bahrain were complicated before the war, as the population is mostly Shia and aligned with the Ayatollah, but the country is ruled by a kingdom that is Sunni. Even before the shooting started, the situation was tenuous at best, and the assassination of the Ayatollah might have been the spark needed to kick off a civil conflict within the island nation. This is a complicating factor for the United States, as Bahrain has long served as a major center of gravity for American combat power in the region. Now that some locals are getting rowdy and are also aligned with Iran, this will make things more difficult. In Lebanon, this morning, Israeli forces launched a ground invasion in the south, opening up another front so as to seize terrain along the border. Lebanese army forces have withdrawn from the border as Israeli units advance. Analysts comment, it is not clear as to if this is a legitimate full-scale ground invasion or limited border incursions that Israel is known to do throughout southern Lebanon. So far, Israeli forces haven't crossed their limit of advance set during the height of the conflict 2 years ago. In the United Kingdom, a stabbing attack was reported in Edinburgh, which resulted in a standoff lasting several hours yesterday afternoon. One unidentified assailant began stabbing people in an apartment building, which resulted in 2 people being wounded. After the attack, the suspect fled into the apartment building, which resulted in a standoff situation that lasted 7 hours. Eventually, police were able to breach the building and to detain the suspect. Separately, in Birmingham, a different stabbing attack was captured on film this morning, which involved an assailant stabbing a man on the street outside a Catholic school in Elm Rock. This attacker was arrested at the scene, and very few details remain public regarding his identity. Analyst comments for this wire. Yesterday afternoon, the U.S. State Department published the list of nations that Americans should evacuate from, which includes the entire Middle East. The Depart Now order has been issued for the nations of Bahrain, Egypt, Iran, Iraq, Israel, West Bank, Gaza, Jordan, Kuwait, Lebanon, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Syria, the UAE, and Yemen. However, the U.S. State Department has stated that Americans are on their own regarding evacuations. Even though the start of this combat operation was easily predicted down to the exact day and nearly the exact hour that it began, the United States somehow believes that they needed to maintain the element of surprise. The State Department believed that if they made attempts to evacuate the Middle East before the attack, the world would know that the war was imminent. This is also why many American bases appear to not be fortified as much as they could have been. In many cases, the Pentagon appears to not understand that their operation was very observable to the public, and their attempts to maintain the secrecy that they thought they had resulted in little preparation in some areas. False sense of operational security aside, what this means at the moment is logistical challenges, because everyone is having to sit tight for the moment until the war calms down enough to make evacuation flights reliable. A handful of flights have been able to make it in and out of Dubai despite heavy GPS jamming efforts in the region. The governments of Britain and Poland are tentatively looking to start military organized evacuation flights throughout the region over the next few days. However, details are not yet solidified regarding these efforts. Italy has already conducted the military evacuation of some of their citizens from the region who arrived back in Italy this morning. So far, the official policy of the U.S. State Department is that U.S. citizens are on their own, and not a single evacuation flight of Americans has yet taken place to evacuate American citizens from the region. Right now, it might not seem like much, but time is in fact running out. Every single Western-aligned Arab nation in the region is running out of interceptor missiles, with some nations reporting that they have burned through many years' worth of their supply in just the past 2 days. Just this morning alone, the UAE blew through 172 interceptor missiles to take out 172 Iranian munitions that would have otherwise impacted targets inside their country. While it is unconfirmed hearsay at the moment, the rumor throughout the region is that the U.S. has declined to restock these supplies, as most stockpiles of interceptor missiles have been allocated for Israel. As a result, this war is now a marathon to see who has more missiles, the Iranians or the other Persian Gulf states. At the moment, hundreds of drones and missiles are being intercepted out over the Gulf every day. The viral videos of drones slamming into targets on land are merely the munitions that have made it through missile defenses, which is a drop in the bucket compared to the true number of drones and missiles that are being launched. This has led many to the false assumption that this war will fade away within a few days, because they can't visually see the interceptions that are taking place out over the water. However, it's now day 4 of this conflict, and the drone attacks have remained constant. When and if missile interceptors dwindle, these munitions will have nothing stopping them from reaching their targets. Last night, President Trump stated that American stockpiles of munitions are at adequate levels, and that, quote, wars can be fought forever at current stockpile levels of medium-grade munitions. Despite the rather unfortunate choice of vocabulary in this post, the cold hard truth is that the U.S. has not been supplying the Arab nations that are now getting hit with the munitions necessary for their defense, or more importantly, the defense of American assets and citizens in the region. This will complicate the self-evacuation of Americans over the next few weeks, in addition to sharply increasing the potential for more widespread drone attacks over the next few days. This concludes The Wire for 2000 Zulu, March 3rd, 2026.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox. We are approaching the time.
Yeah, that was a similar news force, Kay, I think. I never seen that channel before, I don't think. I might have a long time ago. But I think that was just like drones, like what News Force does with bunkers and stuff. Maybe that was, but it was pretty interesting. So I'm going to do some short clips and then wait till we get more people in chat. Hopefully Lucy will be coming in listening. Want to make sure we got everybody listening for News Force, so we'll do some short clips. You guys will like this next one here.
Information that we have, it appears that Ilhan Omar never obtained her U.S. citizenship. According to the U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 2, Clause 2, a person who serves in the Congress has to have been 7 years a citizen of the United States. Now, the Omar family moved to the U.S. in 1995, and by law, refugees must be a lawful permanent resident for 5 years to be eligible to apply for U.S. citizenship. That would have been the year 2000 for her father. The limited sources that we have show that she became a citizen in 2000 when she was 17. The New York Times, AP News show that she was 17 when she became a citizen in 2000. The problem with that is that Ilhan Omar was not 17 in the year 2000. How do we know? Well, because numerous sources and her Minnesota legislative page show that her birth date was October 4th, 1981. Omar was not eligible to gain U.S. citizenship in 2000 as a minor. That is when she turned 19. So the immigration laws provide for 3 main mechanisms that a U.S. citizen or refugee parent can potentially use to seek citizenship for their child. The first one, acquisition of citizenship. If you or your spouse or both are United States citizens and your child was born abroad, this does not apply to Ilhan Omar because her parents were not U.S. citizens when she was born in Somalia. Number two, derivation of citizenship. For children of refugees whose child turned 18 years old on or after February 27, 2001, and this does not apply. Derivation of citizenship does not apply because she turned 18 in the year 2000.
Okay, we got the Deb Plan. Welcome, thank you for coming. And this is your first time to chat. Haven't seen that. This be respectful, everybody, all the new people, and hope you like the shows.
Number three, application for citizenship under Section 322 of the Immigration and Naturalization Act. One parent is a U.S. citizen, usually by naturalization. Now, remember, her father could only apply for naturalization in the year 2000, and the child has to be under the age of 18, which she was not. So, number three does not apply to Ilhan Omar. It appears Ilhan Omar never obtained U.S. citizenship as an adult in the year 2000 when she was 19, and then legally eligible to apply and become a U.S. citizen. Ilhan Omar has not corrected the record. U.S. citizenship is a requirement to serve in the U.S. Congress, and the American people have a right to verify that U.S. citizenship. Naturalization records are only obtainable through a Freedom of Information Act request. Here's the catch. That request will not be answered unless Omar gives her permission for that request to be fulfilled. So until Ilhan Omar provides proof of her U.S. citizenship, rather than thinking of her as a dual citizen, we will think of her as a Somali nationalist. Ilhan Omar, the American people have a right to know. We need verification that you actually obtained U.S. citizenship. I'm AJ Kern.
Yeah, that's a new lady there. I haven't played in a while. Good. I got 2 4-minute ones, and then I'm going to do news for us.
LLCs that were given defense contracts to the tune of $220 million. And I was like, let me loose. I need to find these. 30 minutes of research, and I have found upwards of over $500 million that Kristi Noem has, I'm going to say, wasted of our tax dollars. So in honor of DHS being shut down and hundreds of thousands of Americans either going into work and not getting paid or not being able to go into work and not getting paid, millions of Americans travel affected, FEMA can't issue disaster relief. Oh, and we are currently in the process of doing our taxes and giving the government more of our hard-earned money. I was like, let's look at what she has been spending since she got into office a year and 2 months ago. First, I want to mention that Kristi Noem makes about $235,000 a year in her position in the government. All of that is public information. She is out here living on our tax dollars like she's on the Real Housewives of DHS. All right, so first we have the planes that she purchased, all right? As a government employee, your job is to be a good steward of the tax dollars. First, she bought herself a $70 million Boeing 737. It has a queen-size bed, a bar, showers. Oh, and it was designed, the interior of it was designed by the same guy who designs Chanel and Louis Vuitton stores. She said it was for deportations, but it seats 18 people. Also, Kristi, do you think we're stupid? She also bought 2 Gulfstream G700s from the Coast Guard. That was $200 million. Somehow it started out with 1 plane for $50 million, and then it ended up 2 planes for $200 million. So I'm really going to need to look into this one because you're either a really bad negotiator or something shady is going on here. This is what I do for fun, baby. That $200 million, well, that came
Pretty
out of the
good.
Coast Guard's
He does a
search and
good
rescue
job.
mission funds. Now let's talk about this $220 million that went to a media campaign of her on a horse doing commercials for deporting people. The American people voted this administration in to deport people. Please explain to me why you thought it was a good idea to spend $220 million to convince the people who already voted for you to do this that they needed to do this and that your face on a horse is going to be the way to do it. Oh, but I don't think that that's where it actually went. Very important part of this is that this contract was awarded to Safe America Media. It was not competed on the streets. The reason they competed is to make sure that they get the best price and that they're not just giving contracts to your friends. All right, so Safe America Media has a shell LLC in Delaware. Well, lucky for us, we have usaspending.gov, and they were awarded 3 task orders, and the address associated with those 3 task orders is to a home in Alexandria, Virginia. This LLC, formed 8 days prior to being awarded this contract, had never done defense work before, and as a media company, do they have a website? No. Why would a media company have a website? Also not registered in sam.gov, which all government contractors have to do. It's not shady at all, especially for this amount of money, Well, turns out that the guy, he was in the RNC and did a bunch of politics stuff, right? Political operative is what they call him. But he subcontracted out this work to the strategy group. They thought they were clever here. They award this to this small business that just formed. Then they subcontracted it out because they couldn't do the work because they don't even have a website to the strategy group. Well, the CEO of the strategy group is the husband of Kristi Noem's spokesperson. And when Kristi Noem was asked about this on the Hill, she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. You guys just didn't think that people would dig into this like they did. The production company says they got paid $226,000. So I'm really curious where the other $142,750,000 went. While all this is happening, though, she said that every single FEMA contract over $100,000 had to be personally signed by her. So when the Texas floods happened and 138 people died, they couldn't get out there and surveil and see what the damage was or where they needed to go for 5 days because that's how long it took her to sign the contract. Now I've got to spend a lot of time on usaspending.gov. I was watching the congressional hearing with Kristi Noem.
Okay, that was good. And Formula One is Kennedy coming up next. Then we'll get News Force. We'll get that soon. Oh, won't be able to get this one. Ah, shoot. I guess I won't be able to play that one, so I'm going to go ahead and get going on News Force. It's going to be an hour.
Crime Zone collectively, always. I'm Wendy from News Force, and happy Friday. We have some action that went on yesterday, which was Thursday, in Shreveport, Louisiana. We also had some orange screen action that is pointing in the direction that these DUMBs and the orange screen over, well, it was to the east of it. To the west of it. That there's something going on, and the military is wrapping up some more operations. We know what it means when we see out of nowhere, just boom, the military blowing up one of the dumps down underneath, especially when it's at such a high blast. We know they're taking care of business, and we like that. So to our military, hats off. Thank you very much for another large dump gone, and peace above for everybody to place their feet on the ground and get the right frequency, knowing that the horrible, horrible things that were going on down in these dumps are no longer. So Shreveport, as much as you guys are scared, as much as you guys were freaked out from this, I wish I could reach every one of you and tell you it's okay. It's a good thing, not a bad. Let's head right over to the map and take a look at what happened here. All right, guys, we are at our volcanoes and earthquake map, and clearly we can see where this took place. Here's Louisiana. I wanted to note that all of the teal type colored squares that you see, those are reports of shaking felt from the earthquakes locally there. And they were felt as far as California right out here. And they were felt as far as Nebraska and just across into the Iowa border. Wow. We do have a report down here. And we have a few more here, but these are ghost reports, guys. When you click on the dumb, it will tell you and show you the spray of the reports. Each dumb has its own separate reports. All right, guys, let's zoom in a little bit. Coming into Louisiana, and there is good old Shreveport. What a beautiful sight to see that. That means freedom. When you see this, that means freedom for children, freedom from the awful things that have been done to them. It frees all of us all the way around every time they blow up these dumps. And this particular dump, let's come on in. So here's Shreveport. Okay. So it was just to the south and to the east. And there's our dump. Okay. And look at that. We had two other dumps also. Those were just within the hour prior to our big dump being blown up. All right, guys. So we're looking at Edgefield would be the closest town to that dump, meaning large. All right, guys. I want us to note things as we're coming in on our dump. All right. We have what is called, I believe this is the Red River. Okay. And we know what water and rivers mean. We know why the Mississippi River exists. The Mississippi River only existed for one reason. Yes, transport. Transports of goods and services, yes. But that was more the cover-up. It was transportation for the children. Adrenochrome, if you are not familiar with that term, and you're new here, you need to get used to that term because that's what this is all about, this whole war, okay, is adrenochrome. All right, and these are good through ways to be able to transport quickly children and adrenochrome. We always point out when our dumps are near rivers, when they're near water, and most of all, when they're inside of national forests and parks. All right, let's go on in and zoom in just a little more on this and get closer. So we're looking at Highway 86. Okay, we're looking at Highway 86. My apologies. Put your glasses on, Wendy. Highway 84 coming out of Harmon. Here's Harmon up here. Okay. And we also have 84 turns into 1 and meets with what an interesting road. 177 if you're awake. Quite interesting on that one. Okay, so as I got closer in on this, I noted, as always, churches. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at these churches. We'll be looking at that in a few minutes. Let's talk about our dump. All right. Again, most dumps are, buried in large, thick brush, Hansel and Gretel. And this one is, let's go ahead and click on it and see. So this was 21 hours ago, guys. Red River Parish, Louisiana. And this stinker was a 4.9. She was a good blast, all right? Which tells us it was something big. And we know that our main tunnels are the 10 kmers, so this was just an 11 km. So it was even farther south into the ground than a 10 kmer. At 4.9, definitely people would be feeling it, and sometimes they weigh on the side of the lower. So we're just going to round that stinker to a 5.0. Okay. And I want us to note also numbers. Okay, numbers are important. It's their world, not ours. And Satanists live by numbers, and they live by symbolism. That's it. That's all that counts to them. Okay, everything is raw with them. So we have a 13. Okay, so gotcha. 13. Gotcha. Okay, and I just wanted to note also on here that it was an 11 km, which means military. When you see 11, guys, that's our military. Okay, so she was a biggie, whatever this was, and we will be finding out, I'm sure, about the operation soon to be in the future. We always do. Okay, let's come on back out, and we want to talk about this right here. All right. Note, a church out in the middle of no man's land. Just out, and it's Catholic. Okay. And we know that the churches did most of the trafficking. Yes, I am sorry to tell all of you that go to church. Not every single one does. Okay. But they were designed and made for the trafficking as a cover up, so nobody would ever guess what was going on. Okay. I'm not saying this church was doing it. I'm just telling you, coinky dinks are quite interesting. All right. And note on here, this was an 1133. Okay, so we have our 13s in there. Okay, they wanted to make sure that it was a claimed number. It's just more ammo against this church. I'm not saying they were. I'm just saying there's a lot of quinky dinks. I always point out, wherever there's a big dumb, there's always churches around in the middle of no man's land. Let's go on across the street here to Highway 1/84. We have Willow Grove Church. Look at where this church is slammed, guys. I mean, really? Of course, we got ourselves the things I see. Oh, it's a triangle. We do know that they love their triangle and Satanism. I'm not saying this church did, but sure is a coinky dink that we have out in the middle of no man's land, right next to this big dumb 2 churches. It's important to look for that. And then, of course, we have conveniently the water, okay, for transport, for down underneath the water. There is so much going on, guys. You don't get to underneath the water of a river or a lake or the ocean, and it just goes into the bedrock and nothing's going on. But what your science teachers taught you was going on with the layers of the earth. There is action more than ever. Above ground is the front for what's going on below ground. All right. Let's go ahead and go north. We're going to go up here to the north guide, guys, and follow that Red River again, right off the Red River. And I just want to note the water here, okay, and nothing around it. Okay. That's important when it comes to these. That's why they're all built in parks. A lot of them are built or made and designed and in parks, national parks, that kind of stuff, because the government, which is the deep state, the CIA, the Satanists, okay, they designed this and designed the national parks so that they could control the traffic in and out. Your national parks are not there to keep clean for you to come and bring your RV once a year and hang out with your family, but they sure make it look like that, don't they? Yeah. front Walmart. The Walmart, you're not going to get paper towels. You're a nuisance to them, but they have to have you as a front for the child trafficking. And we have Hillary Clinton. Bill and Hillary Clinton, the fakes, because we know they're long gone. The fakes, so that the public can understand what the hell is going on here. They were your main traffickers through the barges and stuff, the large ships that transport across the oceans and across down through the Mississippi and these smaller rivers. Remembering, folks, that below us are submarine tunnels. Yep. And what do submarines need? Water. All right, guys. So this dumb went off about an hour before our dumb down there in Edgefield. Let's go ahead and click on it. All right, 23 hours ago. So it was about an hour and a half, okay? And that was a 2.2, a 22 blast. And interesting, 22, right? Boom. Oh, what I see when I look at stuff like this. That was a 5 km, okay? So that was above that 11 by 6 km. So quite a significant difference, but clearly with the times they are connected. Most definitely. All right, let's go ahead and back out here out of that. And let's go in closer and see what we can see. So we do have our thick brush, Hansel and Gretel style. I always say that, guys, because if you know the story about Hansel and Gretel, you know it's all about the children in deep forests, black forests, and of course, take a look, guys. You have your Red River right next to it. Yeah, let's just take a look and see what we can see off these roads. Parish Road 473. And that loops around. We're looking for any structures. Here we go. All right, we have silos and a farm. Interesting. We speak a lot of things about these farms and what may have been really going on. You can think up just about the sky's the limit if you are awake as to what was really going on. All right, these are just buildings, which, guys, these buildings might look like just junk structures that are just abandoned and stuff like that. But guys, this is places where they hide stuff, they store stuff, they, possibly children. It just depends on where they need them to go, how much they need them alive, the closest to where they're going to kill them. It just depends, meaning the children. Oh, there we go. There we go. Church not far away. Is it out in the middle of no man's land? Oh, yeah. That stinker's buried. Baptist Church, eh? Oh, 27270, which is 9 3 3s. Yeah. All right, guys. Let's motivate here on over to our next one. Should be coming into view. Quite a few churches just out in the middle of no man's land around these dumbs, eh? Just see them all popping up all over the place. All right. All right. Here is our second dumb. I just want to pull back out and make sure I'm straight, guys. I always like to be straight up and down with the United States. All right, guys. Here's the second dumb. Let me just make sure. We are going to head back to the east. You can see it right here. Okay. That is our second dumb. And these were done just about simultaneously, guys, okay? These two dumbs were done almost simultaneously. All right. Oh, we've got a church popping up right next to it. Interesting. Let's click on it and see what's going on here. All right. And we have a 2.9 blast on this one. And that was 11. Military. Right on. Yeah, we get our little jabs in with our numbers too. They like to play their number games. We'll play number games with them. We'll come through and blow up their shit at the number of 11. Okay, guys. And that again was a 5.0 KM, just like the other one. They were both done just about simultaneously within an hour. So it was this dumb first, then the one to the west, and then they went south, and the shebanger happened. Okay, guys, let's go on out. I am trying to get our... All right, we are going to pull in here first before I pull out and look back at the other stuff, guys. All right, Highway 783, which I might add is 18 and 2 9s, right? 9 and 9 is 18. They love their numbers in roads. Highway 66, right, guys? They love their numbers. They name these roads with numbers, not us. Okay, guys, tells you how long they've been in control for, huh? Okay, so we do have a St. Paul's Church right across the street. Let's just get in closer. Let's just see what town. Oh, we have another one. There we go. Okay. Wellesley Chapel Methodist
so
Church.
Far.
Yeah, we've got some churches around there. Gotta have the churches.
40.
Let's just zoom in on this church. See if we can get a number. Yeah, it won't give us one quite yet. St. Paul's Church.
We're about 18 minutes in to an hour on this.
All right. Do we have any water around it? Don't see much too close in the range of water.
She's keep breaking up, but we're getting there.
Water. All right, let's go in real close. Let's take a look. All right, it's right in the backyard of 6334. Interesting numbers. So whatever this structure is, looks like there is a road that comes through right here for that structure. And it is right in their backyard. Interesting. Let's just back out and see if we can get a number. Here's the larger structure with it. You know, a lot of those retreats and stuff like that, guys, large retreats that, you know, are out in the middle of no man's land that you go to, you know, you send your kids to and stuff like that. Yeah, those are the ones that you want to, you know, kind of worry about. Don't be sending your kids off to those things, guys, alone. Your children cannot defend themselves. And once you send them out there, they are wide open without you, just temporarily while we're still cleaning up. And we're still finishing up, okay? These monsters are getting desperate, all right? And they need their fixes. And we need to just watch over our children up above for a little while. I do see some, of course, cattle. We call cattle water for cattle, all right? But you never know. All right, guys, let's come on back out here. And what I wanted to do is, I'm trying to get the shaking to pop up, the large shaking. So let's come on. Most of the reports, of course, were coming from Shreveport. That's what all these squares are if you're new here, all these little squares. We're going to see. It hasn't allowed me all night to click on them, but we are going to try. Oh, it will. All right, this person is reporting light shaking. Let's keep clicking on them while they're working.
That's her channel,
here.
not mine.
Boise City. Yeah, it won't let me click on those. Let's see. That one is light shaking. Let's see if we can get somebody to say something here. Yeah. That one won't let me touch on it. Weak shaking. You know, it was north and to the west. So sitting down, felt and heard the house. Yep, you can. You can definitely hear and feel the house moving around. Let's go on down here to Mansfield and just see what they're saying about it. Moderate shaking. Okay. And we have a yellow square. And they won't let me click on it. Someone in the parking lot. Looks like a grocery store. Okay. So generally speaking, what we're seeing here is moderate shaking. Let's get closer. Again, woke entire household, scaring all. Let's see if we can open this wide open. As well as several neighbors who confirmed it as well. I was standing when it hit and it about knocked me over. And that was at 2026 Red River Parish, Louisiana. Yep, they are scary. If you don't know what they are and you truly think, don't get me wrong, there are true earthquakes because our earth is alive and ever changing, but not like these. Just like, you know, there may be little tiny baby tornadoes when our weather is not controlled by the deep state. And right now, HARP is controlling it. We have about 72% control, meaning the white hats, the black hats have the other control. And through this corridor, guys, we call it Tornado Alley for a reason. And it also is it's generally, it kind of swings up like this. It comes on back like this. It depends on the time of year. And they're already running tornadoes. You know, the deep state is not real happy right now. And they know that they're a dying entity, just like the Wicked Witch on The Wizard of Oz. When she's melting, she's reaching out to grab whatever she can take with it. And this is the same concept. They just won't die. They know their day is coming where it'll be like a little piddly fire and we'll finally put them out. But right now they still do have some grab a holda, which is HARP also. And they are doing some really bad, wicked things with it. Now, in this Tornado Alley area, just to the west, we have the Midland area, okay, which is right here. They've been working on this for, oh gosh, about 2 years. And what started this off in Midland, all right, was a horrible, horrible tornado that came through the deep state. We had to fight them. You can just punch in on Google, Midland, Texas tornadoes, real raw news, and it'll come up for you guys, okay? Midland area, all of this area, we fought hard that night. Our military did. And we had some awful tornadoes and it killed some people, and that was spun off by the deep state. Also, that the area too, which was the same week, we had tornadoes. Those over here, all right, near Kermit, near let me just pull out so it'll give me that main. You see this dome right here being blown up, all right? This was the general area, and there was tornadoes, and there was a hell of a fight over a week's time. Now, last year was all of this area to fight the deep state, okay? Right in through here, all right? And we worked our way down like this, all right? And we had a lot of fighting going on,
minutes,
of course,
guys,
during tornado
35.
season against FEMA. You guys, FEMA was deep state. That's why they were FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, so that they could be the first ones in after they created disasters to steal your stuff, to steal your children, to steal your gold. That's why they want your guns registered. That's why they want to know everything about you. They want to know what's in that safe. Because if they need money, because they took too much tax money, they will just create a storm, a hurricane, a tornado, and they will find the town with the most guns, the most gold, the most children. It depends on what they're looking for. It's always one of those three. And they'll tear it up with the tornado and come on in and basically take what they want, including your children. All right, guys, I want to grab a report out of Shreveport. Let's get a listen to what went on and how the people dealt with it. This is KSLA News, Channel 12. Let's get a listen.
Joining us here at 6, I'm Ashley Graham.
And I'm Jeff Horchak. Well, many of you may have gotten shaken out of bed about 5:30 this morning when an earthquake centered in Red River Parish rocked northwest Louisiana and northeast Texas.
KSLA's Peyton Manuel spent the day near the earthquake site, or the center of it, talking to people who described the experience they heard as terrifying.
That's the sound many of us heard early in the morning. The United States Geological Survey confirmed an earthquake with a 4.9 magnitude hit North Louisiana, making it the second largest earthquake in state history. One of our viewers, Alana Frederick, sent us this video from outside her home.
Wow, that's some shaking.
My phone and it just happened to catch it on my camera, and I thought it was so neat. But other than that, nothing fell, nothing was damaged at my house. It just woke us up. It was just something that we ain't never experienced before.
The heart of the earthquake hit north of Edgefield, Louisiana, not far from US 71. Lisa Adams says she lives nearby and woke up to the sound of her house shaking. Her son woke up when he was hit in the head.
As something fell off the shelf above his bed, and like a bottle of cologne and hit him in the head, woke him up. But I mean, he's 26. He's okay. Windows were rattling, things were falling off the wall, falling off the shelves, things like that. So yeah, you could tell this is the worst one we've had.
It was powerful enough for people to feel it from many miles away. Judy Guidry lives in Hucks, Texas. She says it only lasted around 30 seconds, but it was 30 seconds of pure panic.
It started out real slow, and then it got real hard. My husband, he's had some health problems, and I was thinking, is he having a seizure or something, And it just got real hard, and then it just quit.
The Red River Parish Sheriff's Office is reminding people that standard homeowners insurance policies may not cover damages from an earthquake. Now, with history made, many say they're considering getting insured just in case. Misty Alsup in Summit, Louisiana says she's one of them.
What's next? We've been having smaller earthquakes, I know, solid for the last 2 years. And it's just, they keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger. What's next? And yeah, if that's the case, we are going to have to add homeowners insurance because the insurance companies are not going to cover it. It's a very uncommon event.
Our KSLA weather team says there's a 26% chance of an aftershock with a magnitude between 3 and 4 within the next 24 hours. In Coushatta, Peyton Manuel, KSLA News 12.
registered on our First Alert weather app. You can track earthquakes whenever they happen. Just download our weather app, select radar, and apply the earthquake.
Oh, Misty, I have a message for you. Don't be scared, you guys. This is good what happened. If anybody was awake in the Shreveport area, the Edgefield area, they were celebrating this, okay? Anybody who's asleep is ready to go hook up with earthquake insurance. Guys, I can tell you, you don't need to go get earthquake insurance. First of all, it's fraud, and the chances of being able to get hooked up with something like that and actually getting deliverance on it is next to none. You don't have to worry, guys. It is in control by the military, okay? If anything was going to happen to you guys, as far as earthquakes go, it would have already happened when the deep state was in control, all right? But we know them. They like to hide. They like to be quiet in the background, like so. So with that, let's head over and take a look at our orange screen in that area, okay? One other thing before we go that I wanted to explain to you. We worked hard on this area right here, right along the line. This is the Texas line here and the Louisiana line. It comes down like this into our shoe, whoops, and around, okay, like so. And here's Texas and here's Houston. All right, guys. And this whole area, okay, that's why the tornadoes were so thick last year, okay, because we were fighting the deep state big time. Our military won. And of course, it's not quite over yet. So let's go ahead and take a look at our orange screen. All right, we're over at our orange screen. Look at all the action, guys. Wow. We have a double orange screen over our war zone, war to peace zone. Wow. Yeah, we're really busy. And what's interesting about this double orange screen, okay, over our war zone, okay, is that the snap point, guys, points almost right at Shreveport. There it is. Okay, your snap point for the orange screen. If you're not familiar with what an orange screen is, and I have newbies here, an orange screen is used in the ionosphere. And what it is it is a layer that they put up in order to protect from direct energy weapons when the military is busy doing its operations. They can blow it up as big as they want. Think of a piece of paper on a counter and just sliding it all over, okay? And except for you can make the piece of paper in any shape you want, all right? And they also use it to bounce direct energy weapons off of it. That is how they blow up most of the DUMBs. We don't have physical people down there with dynamite blowing them up, although we do sometimes. But generally speaking, direct energy weapons can be so accurate, guys. It can blow a piece of dust off of the top of a pencil. Okay. And so these screens go up for protection. These screens go up for all sorts of different reasons for our military. And you can see we are under a lot of action. But yes, that snap point points right just about right at our area. Okay. There's Shreveport right there, guys. And here's our snap point. I found that quite interesting. You could almost call this a snap point here too. Okay, guys, almost right there in Jasper. Okay, let's come on back out. I just want to take a look at the orange screen here. We have a triple. We have a triple right in our war zone. All right, look at that. So we have 1, 2, 3 right over the top of our railroad tracks that come through here. Okay, right over the top. Quite interesting. So they are battling it out. Now, just because we're seeing our orange screen up here, not all the way over to Shreveport does not say that it was not over Shreveport this morning as they did this. I'm going to guess more than likely, yes. They had an orange screen up to protect them while they went ahead and direct energy weapon. The bunkers, the dumb, whatever you would like to call it. So lots of action there. Let's just pop back over to are volcanoes and earthquakes. So we can take a look at the war zone, squeeze zone, I call it, and see how we're doing with that. All right, guys, let's come on down here. Oh, she's really active. Again, look at that. Look at all that action right there. Okay, and I don't know how to catacotsis is the beginning of the trains that come through to Salina Cruz. All right, and right in through here, guys. Okay, and you could see very active still with all the circles, with the dumbs, very active. Let's just come on down our coastline into Panama and see if there's any action. Our baby Panama, right? Really, Panama isn't going to be much of anything anymore, as it is a necessity for sure, but we are building
25
other
minutes, you guys. 25.
through ways for our boats and ships and stuff. Remember, our shipping, just like our 18-wheeler transport of goods and services, is going to come way down. You see, what people don't understand is that, listen, I'm just going to throw it out and I'm going conservative. I would say 70% of all of our transport of goods and services had something to do with child trafficking and adrenochrome, folks. Okay. Our world is not set up. Your Home Depots, your Walmarts are not set up so you can go grab some lumber and go grab some paper towels, maybe for you. But it is a front for child trafficking. The majority of corporations and the Dow itself is built on child trafficking and adrenochrome. The world was built around this behavior, this satanic behavior like that. Let's go on down and just see to the east, there in Colombia. I'm sorry, to the west of Venezuela. What's going on in Colombia? It looks like it's calming down quite a bit. There's still a lot of action, guys. We still have a lot of work to do in that area. Of course, Venezuela is nice and calm and pretty. You Venezuelans, get your little fannies out there and put your feet on the ground and start sucking up that good frequency, because everything underneath you is clean. The earth is putting more and more of her smile on her face as we get these dumps back, and not only free us, but liberate the planet too. Or I should say, it depends on what you think. Our Earth. All right. I want to jump up here to Iceland. Let's just take a look real quick at Iceland and see how they're doing. All right. 1 second here.
That's what we're hoping for, Graceland.
All right. They're calming down out there. The day Trump announced we were coming in for Greenland, which is right here, guys. Here's Greenland. We started doing all this. This is Greenland. It started that day. Literally, the first dumb went off as soon as he said we were coming in. So we've been really busy on Iceland, as you can see. Lots of dumbs being blown up. Now, let's just head back to the Los Estados Unidos, because I found something interesting, and I haven't looked yet. But I did notice up here in Ohio.
It's her channel, I think.
We had just a lone dumb go off a highway 90, guys, highway 90, of course, and 80, and you come on down, and it's layered like that, but Remember, Fingers Lake, that kind of stuff is all in this area going up into the panhandle of the eastern corridor of the United States. So let's go ahead and just pop on there and see. So Madison, Ohio, that was a 5.0 km, 2.3 blast, okay, in your area. Let's go on in close and see what we can see. Oh, I see a dump to the west. All right off the highway. Yeah, and look at that. There's the Grand River running through. Okay, always have specific things. And
trying to work on it here.
Yeah, there's your water. Oh, there's a house. I like to see the house numbers because I like to see what.
He's breaking up on this video. Ah. Dang it. Hold on. Oh. Darn it. What's going on? This computer's messing up here. Hold on. It's buffering. Yep, it's definitely buffering.
Of a smile.
I think that's 25
on her face as we get these dumps back. And
there's about 25 minutes left, I think it was.
not only free us, but liberate the planet too. Or I should say, it depends on what you think. Our Earth. All right. I want to jump up here to Iceland. Let's just take a look real quick at Iceland and see how they're doing. All right. 1 second here. All right. They're calming down out there. The day Trump announced we were coming in for Greenland, which is right here, guys. Here's Greenland. We started doing all this. This is Greenland. It started that day. Literally, the first dumb went off as soon as he said we were coming in. So we've been really busy on Iceland, as you can see. Lots of dumps being blown up. Now, let's just head back to the Los Estados Unidos because I found something interesting and I have. Haven't looked yet, but I did notice up here in Ohio.
Definitely bad video, the connection.
We had just a lone dumb go off.
Jeez. Darn it. It's been buffering, you guys. Not my fault.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, because it might as well kind of say a good afternoon and good evening. 15 hours ago, guys. Oh, that stinker was right at the surface, a 1.8 slammer jammer. I'm going to call it a slammer jammer because it might as well
20 minutes.
say
20
a
minutes left.
4.9, probably a 4 plus, because it's right at the surface. Let's go in and take a look at what we can see. Get all these. By Camus, Punta Labelle, off of Highway 138. This is Highway 138 coming through here, guys. If you live in this area, oh, look at all the water. Deep in the forest. Yeah.
We're getting there. We're almost done.
Deep, deep, deep. Oh, kind of looks a little bit cleared out around it, doesn't it? Interesting. Very interesting.
We're getting most of it.
So it would be Lac Omar, would be the lake next to it. All right. Let's come on out. And since I have you guys, why don't we run across the board real quick? Let's go up here to New Brunswick here and take a look at this one. So south of Grand Falls, a little bit north and to the east of Heartland.
Yeah, we got a few in here.
Glassville.
Texas there, Graceland.
And Juniper. All right, let's go in on it. Yeah, of course. Oh, we've got a road that just about tells the story. Yeah, let's see where this road goes to. We're going all the way down. All right. Skedaddle Ridge Road, it comes out. Let's follow it back around. Interesting, guys. Look at that. Almost pointing at it. I mean, all it needs now is a look here, you know? Okay. So let's just see if there's water. I believe that's water. Yes, that's water. All right. Let's come on back out. We're going to jump the drink. Let's just cruise across our earth here. And let's take a look. I wanted to show you, I don't know how many of you saw, but I ran had a pretty good dump. I did a short report about it this week. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. And guys, I just want to give you a heads up. If you're brand new to this or you want to learn a little bit more about our dumps and underground and the truth about what's really going on underneath our feet and above ground, go over on Telegram to Dumbs and Underground. Okay, you're going to get more information over on their Telegram main page over there than you are on Rumble, but they are on Rumble and they put their main reports up over there too. But you're going to also get your Dumbs and Underground chat. You can get in there and ask questions and talk with people. I learned everything I know from Dumbs and Underground. Spent 3 years absolutely inhaling everything that they taught me. Absolutely glorious people over there to do what they've been doing for so long and covering everything from the skies way down deep into our dumbs, which we're getting rid of right now. All right, let's zoom in on Iran. I want to see if this, yeah, they already took it away. There was a dumb right there. It is. There's our dumb. Let's, of course, right near the water too. All right, guys, here is Iran. Let me back out. A lot of people don't know geography, so let me just back out. Okay, so we have Iran is right here. Okay, in this area. Here's Saudi Arabia. Okay, guys. Afghanistan is right here. Here's Turkmenistan. Okay, all your stands. All your Stanleys. Kazakhstan is to the north. Okay, guys. Okay, like so. So let's come on in. And Iraq is over here. I'm sure everybody is familiar with that fake war that so many of our men died to protect those poppy fields. Also to, the majority of our military had become absolutely geared towards deep state. And it's unfortunate, but since the beginning of time, most of our military was geared towards wars, of course. Satanism loves wars. They have to have their wars. It makes them a lot of money, and it also bloodshed, low frequency like that. But Iraq, unfortunately, was all about other things than what they said it was about, which was 9/11. They made out like bandits on 9/11 tenfold, hugely in all departments. Child trafficking, placing absolute fear beyond measures into the people of the United States and around the world. They really did accomplish a lot, but not anymore. Exposure, transparency takes care of their sweet asses, huh, guys? Like that. So yeah, let's go ahead and I'm just going to take a look at that dumb here and just show you what it was. Guys, okay, this was 4 days ago, and that stinker was a 10 km. That's why I'm so proud to show it to you. And it was a 4.4 blast, okay? So we did ourselves right. If you don't know why we woohoo celebrate the 10 kms, it's because those are the main tunnel systems that run all over the earth. Okay, every single vein that they blow up off of a 10 km, every single one of those veins connects somehow back to the 10 km. It's the main through traffic corridor, kind of like you would call I-95 of the eastern coast, the main through traffic corridor that all roads come into, kind of like that, guys. So that was a 10 km there. We were happy that happened in Iran, and because they say there's a war going on there. And the only war I see was below them, and it's pretty quiet in that area. We are liberating out the people one by one, and that's good. All right, let's come up here. I see a conglomeration in Tajikistan here. Is it in Tajikistan? Yes, it is. There's a good conglomeration there. Let's just go ahead and pop off one. Take a look. 7 hours ago, 162 km. Yes, folks, it goes that deep. Ooh, a 3.5er. Not much. Just, little pop in the middle of the road. Sort of like that. All right, we do have kind of a biggie right up here. There it is. Let's go after this one. This is in China.
Hey, finding all this.
I just like to, as I come in, take a look.
Another hour. This is a big video.
Get what's around it.
I wasn't going to do 2 shows, but this came out.
All right. Is this a town? No. All right. Let's take a look at that. There's a building, guys. Okay. All right. You have to look close. There's a structure right next to it, out in the middle of no man's land. All right. Wow. There we go, guys. Bam! 10 km. A 5.0. Nice. We got a biggie main tunnel. Yes. Great job, military. And whoever hit it with the direct energy weapons, nice job. All right. Let's go ahead and pull back.
Must have been YouTube, Graceland. That happens sometimes.
Back out here and travel around.
We're under 10 minutes, you guys, about.
Just a little bit more. And so let's see here. All right. Now, Myanmar. Let's talk about Myanmar. If you guys don't remember, I did a very large report on that. Is kind of like, oops, let me back this out. Or Burma. Burma was the slave name given to Myanmar. I'm sorry, I have that backwards. Myanmar was the slave name given to that area. And they tried to liberate themselves several years ago, about 10, 11 years ago. There's been civil war going on there ever since. Now you know why we're fighting so hard for civil war not to break out in the Los Estados Unidos, the United States. Because if that happens, the delay of our freedom will definitely be on hold. That's why it's so important. And these guys are going on 11 years, guys. I believe it's 11 to 15 years of fighting, okay, to get out from underneath the deep state. We've been in there. We've cleaned out a lot of tunnels. we blew up a doozy last year, definitely in that area. All right.
You guys want me to finish off this or
let's
stop?
just pop over here. I wanted to take a look at.
We're under 10 minutes. We got 49 minutes of the 50.
Here.
9.
There's the Philippines. They're still pretty active, guys. In the Philippines, look at all that action.
We'll finish up this here. We're almost done. Everybody likes her.
Yep. Just kind of scrolling around here. Let's come up here. Near North Korea. It looks like they started on South Korea. They have a couple going off in South Korea here, guys. And of course, Japan. At least we can read Japan now. They've been going off on Japan for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. Right in through there. They've kind of come and went from Japan. But I think this is going to be the do-all, tell-all final, where they'll start looking like this land nice and clear. Nothing going on but Japan and the people and the humans. Pretty still active, guys. Pretty darn active. Let's kind of climb up here. So, okay, this is our peninsula. I always forget the name of it. It's the Russian peninsula, where we went ahead and did an 8.8 blast. And ever since then, about 6 months ago, ever since then, we've been blowing up DUMs. Guys, this was a Russian submarine base, and it was absolutely horrific. It was the main through traffic way for everything along this side, all the way down here, stretching across here, and all the way down. Let's move over here. All the way down. United States, down into South America, and all the way along there. All right. It was a big deal when we blew up this submarine base. Like I told you, military submarine bases are a front. And for all of you that are in the military, I apologize for what you're finding out right now, okay? Our military will come down to about 4%, and it will be all about peace. They're not going to be running around, with guns and combat ships and all sorts of shit like that. It's not going to be like that anymore. Our military will be for humanitarian purposes. It will be for lifting up, for high frequency, for helping others. That is what our military will turn into. All right, let's come on back over to the United States, and we are back at square one. To those of you in Louisiana, Shreveport area, thank you for putting up with our little blast. I really wish that everybody could understand what was going on so that they would not be scared, and they would understand that we're bringing war to peace for the last time, and that you don't need to run out and get yourself earthquake insurance, folks. Okay, it's us. Okay, it's us, and we know what we're doing. Okay, when we blow these up, yes, some things do happen sometimes, and people are killed above. If it's a large quake, okay, it does happen, and things do get destroyed. I do get that. I'm not dismissing that. But we have to do what we have to do to free ourselves on this earth. It is so critically important that we free the children, free the masses, and even more so, free Mother Earth, right? For God's sakes, let freedom ring, right? Where we go one, we go all, and we all go together, and we do it free. Let's go ahead. I have something special here I want to show you guys. That was really cool that I found on our way out in celebration and in honor of our military. Let's get a little pumped up.
Stealth bomber. The chief told us this thing was going to come by today and fly around the carrier. It's like a morale boost. Not far from Iran right now. There's a lot going on. Now we have this stealth bomber flying over us, just fire a shot. This thing is awesome. Look at that thing. It's so loud. I love it.
Boys are pumped up.
States Air Force B-2
Woo!
Spirit.
Look at that puppy go. Beautiful.
Look at that thing.
And there's our flag.
This is the Persian Gulf, and we're watching a B-2 Spirit fly by our ship. Look at it go. That is freaking awesome. Holy crap.
Yes.
That is awesome.
That's us, baby. That is definitely us. And we won't have to worry so much about so many aircrafts and so many fighter planes and so much war stuff. We will revert back to peaceful actions, and we will not need all of the fighter jets and all of the fighters and you know what I'm trying to get at, guys. We will not need that in the future. This earth is going to be a beautiful place for humans. Our grandchildren now, and even some of our children, okay, are going to experience the beauty of this planet that we've worked so hard for since the early 60s to try and liberate and give it back to the people. And we are on the precipice right now of ending and being at the end where we can all finally sit back and enjoy this earth for what it was originally given to us for: peace and love and family. And, no more of this worried about the dollar bill every day. No matter who you are spiritually, no matter who you are as far as a family lover, the bottom line is that dollar owns us, and that dollar is going bye-bye very quickly. We are going to waste the dollar and get rid of it, and we will have a new structure of money where money will not be important anymore. I know it's hard to understand that concept because our whole lives are built around money. We get out of bed for money. We go to bed for money. It's all about the slavery. That is going to end, okay? Take it to heart from me, all right? That is going to end. We have beautiful things ahead, you guys. For those of you that are struggling so hard, that are awake, because this is dragging on for so long, and so many lies, propaganda in the media right now and on TV shows and everything. It's really hard for us to spread the truth, but just know and trust that when it's your time to speak about the truth, you will be poked hard. You'll know when to speak. For now, if it's aggravating, there is nothing more important right now than your frequency. Okay? Nothing. Because collectively it is gathered. So whatever you need to do in order to keep yourself at peace, even if it means living day to day in the 3D and ignoring what is going on right now that is at an all-time climax of the fake war, okay, then if that's what you need to do, you need to do that. You first, folks. You first, individually, each and every one of you. The deep state taught you it's never about you, okay? That you're selfish if you think of yourself first. And that's why they did it, was to take the self from the self so we wouldn't live as long, so that we would constantly be giving up energy that we don't have, expending it, working jobs, that's going to go away too. We will not be considered working. We will be considered humanitarians of this planet, doing things that we want to do, not sacrificing ourselves for what's called the almighty dollar, the blood of the dollar. Okay. And if you wring out a dollar bill, it has a lot of bloodshed. That's for sure, over the years. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this report. And if you guys have any questions, like I said, feel free to go on over to.
Okay. Everybody likes the news sports lady that comes out when she does a big drop. You know, she does about an hour. So I had to get that out. All right, we're going to get some shorts in. Let's do this one here. Buffering. Let's go ahead and get this one in. I get it.
Did not know him or go to any of his houses. Listen.
I don't know how many times I had to say I did not know Jeffrey Epstein. I never went to his island. I never went to his homes. I never went to his offices. So it's on the record numerous times.
However, included in the latest Epstein file dump is an email from 2012 suggesting Epstein and Clinton knew each other, quote unquote, pretty well. The specific email thread involved Epstein coordinating travel plans with Nina Kita, who is the niece of the Ivory Coast president. Kita is a former model who appears more than 500 times in Epstein documents. She acted as an intermediary for Epstein in African political circles. In one message, she notes that Clinton is scheduled to be in the same location as Epstein in January of 2012, writing, quote, apparently Hillary Clinton would also be here at the same day as you, and I guess you know her pretty well. On January 6th, Epstein replied, saying in part, I do not want to be there the same day as Hillary. In another email, Epstein appears to be arranging a secret meeting with Hillary for the Rothschilds. He writes, quote, meetings with Hillary are not easily discreet. When? Meanwhile, a whistleblower and former employee at the Zorro Ranch claims that Hillary visited the Zorro Ranch on multiple occasions. The former contractor at Epstein's ranch in New Mexico claimed that Bill and Hillary, along with their daughter Chelsea, were regular visitors to the property, vacationing there almost every year and making trips, quote, a whole bunch of times. The whistleblower is Jared Kellogg, a security expert hired in 2015 to beef up surveillance at the ranch. Kellogg told the Daily Mail that ranch manager Bryce Gordon bragged about the Clintons' frequent stays, saying the family stayed in a custom-built cowboy village. Not just Bill, he said, but Bill, his wife, their kid, and they would stay on the ranch itself. According to Kellogg, Gordon emphasized that the visits were annual affairs, post-presidency. Okay, guys, I want to take a quick second to tell you about a company that could save you thousands of dollars a year and a whole lot of time and frustration. It's Chapter. They specialize in Medicare, which we all know choosing a plan isn't the easiest thing in the world, much less choosing the right plan. That's where Chapter comes in. They research all the options, they walk you through everything, and they do it all for free. They don't get kickbacks, so their focus is getting you in the best plan for you. It'll only take 20 minutes of your time, so give them a call, 347-960-3244, or go to chapter.org/Christina. I'll put the details in the description, so don't wait. Make your call and talk to a company that I trust. I'm Christina Aguayo in Dallas, and here are your top stories. The trucker who was driving the wrong direction on a highway in Missouri has been identified as a Somali migrant who works for a company registered in Minnesota, to Abdiwali Ahmad. That's a company that is run out of an apartment and logged 81,000 miles last year. The Somali migrant truck driver was traveling south on U.S. Highway 61 in the northbound lanes for miles before correcting course. He was driving at around 50 miles an hour and forced multiple vehicles to swerve out of his way. State Patrol eventually pulled the Somali migrant over after he used a crossover to switch directions. During the stop, troopers gave Ibrahim Ali an English test, which he failed. He couldn't even identify standard road signs. Even so, he was given a valid CDL issued by Minnesota. Ali faces misdemeanor charges for driving the wrong way on a divided highway and operating a vehicle in a careless and imprudent manner, but he was not arrested. Instead, a no-bond warrant was requested, allowing him to walk free. The district attorney in Manhattan, Alvin Bragg, has dropped the assault charge against 27-year-old West African Gusmain Coulibaly. Coulibaly was arrested and later charged after he threw large blocks of ice and snowballs at NYPD officers, sending a few to the hospital with injuries to their necks and faces. Socialist Mayor Zohran Mamdani called it a snowball fight between kids. However, the migrant is 27 years old, and the officers were not throwing snowballs back, tried to make them stop, and did not look like they were having any fun. This same African migrant was indicted for robbery less than a month ago. Bragg is now charging him with a misdemeanor count of obstructing government administration and a harassment violation. That's what you need to know. In Dallas, Christina Aguayo.
Okay, the Dallas, Texas lady for the news. Four minutes. This lady's good. Interview.
That you then offered that woman. Take a look.
I have a challenge for you. We will buy you a ticket, a one-way ticket to Iran. Wait, really? Would you go? Would you take that?
Yeah.
Are you part of the LGBTQ community at all?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go with her? Do you want to bring your boyfriend?
Sure, why not?
Okay, very cool.
Okay, Caitlin, are they going to Iran at some point?
Well, we did raise the money. We raised more than enough to cover 3 tickets to go to Iran. And she blocked me on Instagram. And so I have my friends reaching out, trying to give her these tickets. She's not responding. So I don't know. Maybe she lied to me.
Yeah, I mean, she can't go right now. But when the war ends, maybe she'll take you up on that. One more. This is the same student. And she also, I guess, she's a nursing student, or she claims that she's a nurse. But this is what happened right after that. Take a look.
I think women have their right to choose about where they want to live and about what they want to follow.
In Iran?
In Iran, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that people have misconceptions about religion, especially with Muslims and Islamic regions. You're making me feel really oppressed. Like, it's making me hyperventilate and everything. I think I have to take my meds now.
What happened? What? She felt oppressed?
She was trying to like meme and get me here. I don't know. She kept talking about wanting to hold my hand and kiss me and stuff. And I had to shut that down as well, because I'm not interested in that. Even though in America, it's totally legal. In Iran, it's not.
It was so bizarre.
I don't know. She was weird.
Is there, do you think, just you've spoken to so many students on these campuses, is there some sort of disconnect between that age group and like reality and what's actually going on?
Yeah, it's surprising. I've been doing this for 7 years, and every time I go back to a campus, no matter how many years it's been, they are always the same level of dumb. it's honestly astonishing that the generations are not getting smarter. It's the same level of dumb on these college campuses.
I mean, I feel like, every generation probably says that about the generation before them, but like, I don't know. I don't think I would have been like that. I hope not. Here's another one. You asked students about ID in the state of Florida, where you need ID to vote. No one seemed to have an issue. Take a look.
Do you have an ID? Oh, don't show it. Don't show it to the camera, but you have one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Do you have an ID?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Who else? Do you have an ID?
I have what?
Do you have an ID?
Do I have an ID, like a driver's license? Yeah. Yeah, I have a driver's license.
Do you have an ID?
I have an ID.
You have an ID. Okay, all right. Do you have an ID?
I do.
You do have an ID.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Why do you think the Democrats are saying that brown people have a hard time obtaining ID in some way?
They said that about me, like a brown person?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty racist.
Okay, just take us through that, because it was all minorities that you were talking to right there. Everybody had ID. It's like they didn't even realize that was an issue.
Yeah, I was told that that if you're not white, you can't get an ID. Sorry if you hear my child in the background.
No, don't worry about it. I didn't.
I'm
you're
mostly
fine.
just a stay-at-home mom with a YouTube channel on the side, and most people don't know that about me.
Ariella there in the
okay.
background there.
Basically,
Dave.
they're actually more well-behaved than college students are these days, if you can believe it or not.
Yes.
But I was told that any person who is not white can't obtain a voter ID or an ID in general. And so I just went ahead and asked all the students around me who were not white, and 100% of them had an ID.
Remarkable. Doesn't surprise me. Real quick, where are you going next? What school?
Well, first I'm going to go take care of my child who's screaming
Okay.
in the background.
All right.
And then I don't know, maybe we got to do a little tour around Florida. I usually go to USF, but well, maybe I'll go to some more protests.
All right, Caitlin, good luck. Keep us posted. Well done. Caitlin Bennett, thank you.
She does a good job on TikTok. Seven minutes.
Reform committees. Great to see you, Con. Thank you so much. I just wanted to get to day 7 of Operation Epic Fury. The president just put a Truth Social post out roughly about 14 minutes ago. He did say that there will be no deal with Iran. He goes on to say there will be a selection of great acceptable leader or leaders, and then that he says we will work tirelessly to bring Iran back from the brink of destruction, making it economically bigger, better, and stronger. Are you concerned this may now be another Iraq, another Afghanistan?
Well, no, not yet. I think it's too early to tell. And based on the briefings I'm having, I don't see this turning into Iraq. And I think, you have to look at the geopolitical landscape. Iran is very different from Iraq. There are 90 million Iranians within the country. There's the diaspora. These are people that are freedom loving. They want a non-nuclear democratic Iran. And I believe under the right soil conditions, if Israel and the US are able to disable the IRGC leadership in the way that Trump has been doing for the last 7 days, I believe there will be an opening for the people to free themselves in Iran. But it's going to take a great effort. And I want to say that I appreciate the Gulf states also stepping up here to support this effort overseas. It's unprecedented. But Iran made a grave mistake by going after the Gulf states and bombing them as well. So I think this faster than many of us realize.
Representative, and apparently President Trump also planning to clear out the leadership there in Iran. We mentioned it earlier. He also told Politico that he wants a hand in helping pick out who the next leader is. And you have a lot of, you would think this would be a bipartisan issue, right? To keep America safe, to protect our national security. The fact we have seen what Hezbollah has done, what Iran has done against America. Yet 53 Democrats voted against describing Iran as a state sponsor of terrorism. Why do you think that is?
Well, they also support the #1 state sponsor of terrorism having a nuclear arm, a nuclear warhead, nuclear bombs. I mean, these are the same free Palestinian crowd that don't want to free Iranians. It's crazy to me. And, you look at all the women, the political prisoners, the brutal executions of women who don't wear their hijab in Iran. these people that scream women's rights on the left, yet are, terrified that Iranian women are about to see freedom for the first time in 47 years. I can't make sense of it other than they hate President Trump and all the good work that he's doing. And there's no other explanation for it. It's a bunch of hypocrites and liars.
All right, we'll continue to follow, obviously, Operation Epic Fury, day 7 of that. A lot of moving pieces here. The president has a meeting with the Secretary of War later this afternoon. We'll follow that. I want to switch gears with you, Congresswoman, talk about Pam Bondi, the Attorney General. The House Oversight Committee, which you sit on, has issued a subpoena to subpoena the Attorney General, Pam Bondi. And you see on your screen the Republicans that issued this subpoena, that supported it or sided with it. 5 Republican lawmakers, Tim Burchett, Lauren Boebert, Michael Cloud, Scott Perry, and you yourself. You've been very vocal about seeking justice for Epstein victims. I wanted to show this ex post from you saying this. The Epstein case is one of the greatest cover-ups in American history. His global sex trafficking network is larger than what is being revealed. 3 million documents have been released, and we still don't have the full truth. Videos are missing. Audio is missing. Logs are missing. There are millions of more documents out there. I just wanted to give you a chance to kind of air out your grievances, if you will. Maybe with the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, are you upset with how she's handled this thus far? I just wanted to preface that, too, with this is the only administration that has released any documents related so far. What is the issue with Pam Bondi?
Oh, this was actually my subpoena, and I led the subpoena motion out of the Oversight Committee. I believe that Pam Bondi has been less than truthful with the American people and with Congress on the Epstein files. I want to know where the files are that were on her desk, because they are not in the hands of Congress. And this is, I agree with you. President Trump is the only president that signed this into law and got it out there. But there are questions that still need to be answered. I want to know why this is continuing to be covered up. I believe that Epstein was an asset. I believe that there are videos and other files that are being hidden from Congress and hidden from the American public. And I believe that she's not told the full truth. And we deserve the truth to get to the bottom of this. And I'm looking forward very much to having her depose for as many hours as it takes, because I have many questions for her that I'll be asking her under oath.
I want your thoughts on the big news that happened yesterday. President Trump shaking up his administration, firing Kristi Noem as the head of Homeland Security. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I trust President Trump and his judgment here. One of my questions is, Corey Lewandowski, is he going with her? Where is he going in all of this? The second thing is, I want to thank I'm very grateful to Republican Senator Kennedy. I had no idea how much money, hundreds of millions of dollars, that Kristi Noem had wasted on her personal PR for all those TV ads that are running across the country that have nothing to do with deporting illegal aliens. And so I'm looking forward to the new leadership. I'm looking forward to President Trump being even more effective with better leaders within DHS. I think this was the right call.
Will you investigate her? Do you plan on investigating? We're talking about over $200 million, the whole blanket thing. Do you think there should be an investigation launched into Kristi Noem?
I do. And now that I have more of this information, I think that we need to go back to a potential subpoena for her through the Oversight Committee. Wow. There was one failed on, I guess, a day or two ago, but I didn't have all the information. I would have, now that I know what I know now, I would have voted to subpoena her to get at that. I don't think she walks away from this, and she shouldn't, because as Republicans, we need to hold our own accountable, because President Trump is trying to reinstill trust in our institutions, in Congress, in the White House. He's doing a very good job of that by cleaning up some of the mess that folks have created, and I praise him for it.
All right. We appreciate the time. That's Congresswoman Nancy Mace of South Carolina. Good to see you. Thank you. I'm Sean Reisman. For stories and content just like this, check out.
Okay, that was Nancy Mace from South Carolina. Three minutes. That. Hang on, I gotta restart it. Hold on.
News 2's Kelly Milan spoke with that attorney today and shares more.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Regresamos con más información.
A Nashville television reporter now in immigration detention. Stephanie Rodriguez, who works for Nashville Noticias and Univision 42, was taken into custody by immigration agents March 4th. According to a statement from the outlet, Rodriguez was with her husband outside a gym on Murfreesboro Pike when several cars surrounded their marked news vehicle. The station says several men then exited those cars and demanded Rodriguez be taken into custody. She was later transported to a detention center.
Up until now, she hasn't had a case with ICE charging her with anything, any part of DHS charging with anything. She never had a case with the immigration courts.
Her attorneys have now filed an emergency federal petition asking a judge to order her release. The lawsuit claims Rodriguez entered the United States legally, applied for asylum, and has been seeking a green card through her U.S. citizen husband. Her lawyer says she had been following ICE instructions and was expected to report to the ICE office later this month.
We are all
According
with
to her attorneys, when they checked
channel.
with ICE
Very
about
good.
her case, they were told the charging documents were still being finalized.
Now, ICE has claimed that her failing to show up last Wednesday was a sign that she is a flight risk. But in this case, there was an ICE officer who 2 days before said, hey, that appointment does not exist.
Her attorneys now question why she was detained at all. The lawsuit also claims immigration agents arrested her without a warrant, a
1:30,
move
you guys.
her attorneys argue violates the Fourth Amendment. Now in detention, her attorneys say she will likely miss an important step in her green card process.
The one meeting she might actually miss is she's supposed to go do her fingerprints for USCIS for her green card application on the 17th of this month. And, can't really get there if you're in detention.
In a statement, the Tennessee Immigrant and Refugee Rights Coalition says in part, it's not lost on us that as a reporter, as Stephanie honestly and courageously told real stories about the harms caused by ICE and the people they targeted and detained. Rodriguez is expected to have a hearing March 21st. Her attorneys say a bond motion is likely to follow. Until then, she's being held at a detention center in Louisiana. We reached out to Homeland Security for more information, and we haven't heard back. Back to you.
Yep, we are definitely wide awake. We've been doing this for almost 6 years. We got deep dives. I got over 1 million views, 1,900 subs. So
who prefer indoctrination over education are now putting students in actual danger. They are brainwashing them so hard that a female college student and her gay male friend happily volunteer for a one-way ticket to Iran, claiming that women there live more freely than in the United States. Brace yourself for a masterclass in unsubstantiated nonsense. The left has officially left reality behind. Meanwhile, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz had a brutal day on Capitol Hill. He tried to dodge rapid-fire questions from Republicans and failed spectacularly. He gets roasted so hard over being Kamala's running mate that he can only squirm in his seat and laugh. Oh, this is must-see chaos. And just when you think Congress can't get any better, Kristi Noem steps up. After Eric Swalwell delivers this sob story about an illegal immigrant that was deported to Mexico, Noem stops him cold with one simple question.
Congressman, do you see that pain? Did he have a criminal record?
His response is coming your way. But first, smash that like button if you're loving this administration's bold moves and ability to stand up to the lunacy of the left. And don't rely on those algorithms for your news. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get every episode as it drops. All right, let's dive in. First up, the liberal college student who just embarrassed herself on national display by claiming women in Iran have more freedom than women in the United States. This is the kind of nonsense being pumped into young minds by woke professors, teaching students to romanticize oppression while completely ignoring reality. Watch her proudly recite the dangerous fact-free rhetoric the left is pushing like it's gospel.
Where do you think would be better for women, Iran or America?
I don't think America's quite good for women when we look at how we handled Epstein files.
The Epstein files are certainly a tragedy, but somehow the oppression of girls and women in Iran doesn't register as a problem. Let's educate a little. In Iran, girls as young as 9 are forced into the system has officially gone off the rails. Liberal abuse is rampant, legal protections are almost non-existent, and women face brutal punishments just for breaking dress codes or speaking out. Meanwhile, this student frets over America's handling of one scandal, completely ignoring that millions of Iranian women live under laws and practices that treat them as second-class citizens every single day. And the absurdity doesn't stop there. Watch this next clip to see just how uneducated and misguided college students have become on these liberal campuses.
You have the freedom to follow whatever religion you want, including none at all. And you're going to walk around and try to tell me that this is a worse place to be as a woman than Iran.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think is happening in Iran to their women? Do you think that that place is a good place for women?
I think women have their right to choose about where they want to live and about what they want to follow.
In Iran?
In Iran, yeah. I think that people have misconceptions about religion, especially with Muslims and Islamic regions.
I'm expecting you to be so pro the Ayatollah and pro dictator.
Well, yeah, we have a dictator in our own country.
Let's unpack that. Under Iranian law, a married woman can't even get a passport or travel abroad without her husband's permission. So no, you're not freer there because you can live and work wherever you want. You're freer here because you don't get arrested, beaten, or imprisoned for daring to exist like a human being. And let's clear up the real misconception. Trump is a dictator? The real authoritarianism comes from Democrats, shutting down schools, churches, and businesses for months, threatening fines, arrests, and even jail for anyone who disobeyed. Mask and vaccine mandates, those weren't suggestions. They were enforced. It didn't stop there. Democrats try to control speech on social media, dictate what's being taught in schools, and strip parents of their rights. This is a clear pattern of girls as young as 9 are forced into marriage. Domestic abuse is rampant.
Okay, last part. I'm going to finish off with Doug. Has a 14-minute one. I'll be back tonight.
Over everyday life. So spare me the talk about Trump. Also, tell me, if offered a one-way ticket to Iran, do you think these college students would say yes? Watch this.
I have a challenge for you. We will buy you a ticket, a one-way ticket to Iran.
Wait, really?
Would you go? Would you take that?
Yeah.
Are you part of the LGBTQ community at all?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go with her? Do you want to bring your boyfriend?
Sure, why not?
Before he boards the plane, can someone please share with him that in Iran, homosexuality is a crime and punishable by public beating or death? Same goes for women. That's not freedom, that's repression. And these schools, they need to do a far better job educating their students. Who knows? Maybe she's a former student of Tim Walz. I mean, he clearly needs to go back to school himself. Speaking of which, the Minnesota governor and his attorney general, Keith Ellison, were in the hot seat today on Capitol Hill, answering for the massive Somali fraud scandal blowing up in Minnesota. But before we even get to the money, Congresswoman Nancy Mace decided to dust off a pop quiz from last summer and give the governor a redemption shot. Remember this, Jem?
What is a woman? What is a woman is the question.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Sir, it's not calculus. It's not quantum physics. It's not even Minnesota tax code. Fast forward to today, and guess what? Still no answer.
What is a woman? Have you learned that lesson? Do you know what a woman is?
I'm the governor of Minnesota, Congressman.
know what a
I'm not
woman
here
is?
to be your prop for your obsession.
So
I
if you
taught middle
can't
school, your
define what a
obsession.
woman is, you certainly can't define what fraud is.
It may sound trivial, but she nailed it. He can't define what a woman is, but we're supposed to believe he can define fraud. Biology, total mystery. billions in taxpayer dollars disappearing on his watch, and suddenly he's Sherlock Holmes of their rights. This is a clear pattern of top-down control over everyday life. So spare me the talk about Trump. Also, tell me, if offered a one-way ticket to Iran.
Okay, our lady from TikTok. Yeah, I want to finish off with Doug.
The power, don't give up on this.
Up with la, everything's great. We all know that war is brutal, but we have unconfirmed reports from Iranian Grand Ayatollah Abdullah Javadi Amoli has been in a U.S. airstrike. I'm still going to continue to report on this because I believe that our information that we're getting on this stuff is pretty good. Remember, Trump asked Israel to take this guy out. Cleric recently issued a jihad calling for the shedding of the blood of President Trump and Zionists. That's what they call people who support Israel. They call them Zionists. At this stage, official confirmation has not yet been provided, and major international outlets have not verified the claim. This is a developing story, but I do believe it's true because Trump asked Israel for the attack. Here's the attack on camera. You tell me if you think.
پیشگاه امت اسلامی و خاندان مشرف و معظم این بزرگ.
There's good news. This whole episode is going to be about the war of propaganda on both sides. When I say both sides, doesn't mean they're equally doing it. America and Israel do have branding. I'll call it branding because none of them are outright lying to you. So this is my challenge to you. If you think that guy that we just now claimed he's eliminated, and we have it from unconfirmed sources, and I will bet you it will be confirmed that he was actually eliminated. If he's not eliminated, then it's propaganda. If he is eliminated, then it's true fact. We're going to find out. But in the meanwhile, I've got this chapter ad read. Many of you guys, you're paying just thousands of dollars too much for Medicare. And I don't like my audience losing money. So call the number at the bottom of this screen, chapter, that's 631-961-8696. You know, you're probably in the wrong Medicare plan. Most of my audience are. That's my message to you. That's why you're going to call to find out. The call is free. It doesn't cost you anything. They'll tell you if you're in the right plan too. I trust them enough. They've done it to enough of my audience. My own audience loves calling chapter. Call 631-961-8696. The number's in the description and it's the first pinned comment. Now, back to the news. Here's the House Republicans. This is an official House Republicans message. The Iranian regime has been at war with America since 1979. So that's our statement on this war from the House Republicans. From the Iranian hostage crisis to the modern day ballistic missile attacks on our bases, the axis of resistance only understands one thing: strength. Never forget the blood on their hands. 1979, 52 Americans held hostage for 444 days, released by Reagan, only taken because of weak isolationism of Jimmy Carter. 1983, 241 Marines killed in Beirut Marine barracks bombing. 2003 to 2011, the IGRC funded IEDs killed 600 U.S. troops in Iraq, and I know some of those troops. October 7th, 2023, 46 Americans killed by a Iran-backed Hamas. You guys forget they took our hostages also on October 7th, 2023. Those are acts of war, and of course, assassination attempts on Trump. Now we're going to go into the propaganda war. This is footage released. This is the actual account here. Just in, Iran has launched heavy attacks on Israel's supermarket, energy and gasoline pumps that report major casualties. This is fake news. How do you know? It's a supermarket in Mexico. There's Spanish audios even heard. This. If you pause on any of these products, I don't know if I can get the actual thing up here, but these, you can see these chips. The labeling is all in Spanish. This is footage from, and they're releasing it as if it is Israel being bombed. It's in Spanish. All of the signs, all of the products. That's not an Israeli market. This is a propaganda war. Now, I have to admit, we have our own stuff. This is released. This is a piece of footage of all of our wins shooting up Iranian military from our White House released this.
Kaboom.
I'm going to turn down that song so I don't get a copyright strike. But as you can see, these are major military ordinances being shot. We have the satellite images, we have the drone images, and then we have them actually
This is my
being
last
shot.
video.
This is legit footage from our government.
Tonight,
it is technically war
coming in.
propaganda, but it also happens to be true. These are actual successful missions. This is a false video here, and this account should indeed be banned. This is Iran HD claiming this is one of our service women. She's getting a flag when she's crying. And it has an emotional song with the flag where she's getting her kids. This says, your husband died in Iran while serving Israel and killing babies. We brought you his underwear and undershirt. That's a terrible thing to say to our military. And that's the kind of stuff that Iran's HD propaganda is sending out. This is actual footage of a scripted video from 2024, 2 years ago. So this is not confirmed footage. This is propaganda. This is what I mean. This one cracked me up. This one is from Iran Military News. It's a picture of, I don't know who this is, Billie Eilish in her underwear. This says, stunning in pink, loving this bold and glamorous look of Billie Eilish. But look at the account. It's Iran Military News. They forgot to switch their account. So they're also doing this kind of cheesecake on another account where they get money, spamming. But they didn't switch their account in Twitter. They accidentally posted this under the Iran Military News of Billie Eilish in her underwear. So that's how sloppy and dumb the propaganda war is. But the good news is Keir Starmer is signaling that UK is changing their position and willing to do strikes on Iraq. Watch this footage here. This is UK is about to join their longtime ally, the US, from forbidding it. He put his finger in the air and saw where the wind is going, that we're winning and the West is winning, and this is getting popular.
The long-standing British position is that the best way forward for the regime and the world is a negotiated settlement with Iran where they give up their nuclear ambitions. Now, that's why I took the decision that the UK would not join the initial strikes on Iran by the US and Israel. Now, that decision was deliberate. It was in the national interest.
It was also wrong, because now he's going to change his mind.
And I stand by it. But when Iran started attacking countries around the Gulf and the wider region, the situation changed. Iran has now fired drones and missiles at 10 countries that did not attack them.
By the way, it's 12 countries now. I'll show you the latest missile launch by Iran. Keir Starmer, you're a coward and a duplicitous jerk, but thank you for finally coming around to the right answer. I do expect UK as one of our longtime strongest allies since World War II. Of course, they're going to come on our side. It just took Keir Starmer a little while to figure it out that Iran were the bad guys. Now he knows. Breaking, Lebanon says it will arrest all members of Iran's IRGC present in the country. This is huge. So Lebanon has their own Hezbollah problem of them firing missiles at Israel. Some of them are Muslim countries turning against the Iran Ayatollahs, right? Because an Ayatollah is a bridge too far. Just because you're a Muslim country doesn't mean that you agree with the Ayatollah, a psychotic Islamic death cult. It's kind of like even in Christianity, you can find us fighting each other. I'm Reformed Presbyterian. We're all united, say, against gay marriage or whatever, and we'll be united with the Catholics until someone asks us, if the Pope is the father of the church, and suddenly we'll start the Reformation all over and go to war with each other. Or the Eastern Orthodox and the Catholics are all united until you bring up the great schism that divided them. Or if you're a Baptist, and I go, we believe in infant baptism, and a Baptist will go, no, has to be an adult, has to be da-da-da. We can fight each other. It's the same thing with Islam. At some point, they're going to, find conflict with each other. Here's Lebanon, just banned all IRGC activity in the country and vowed to arrest any guard members. Here's a Lebanon clip.
المعلومات المتزايدة حول وجود عناصر من الحرس الثوري.
Okay, that's not in English, but Lebanon is just like the UK, they smelled who the winning side is. And they're going, hey, how about we don't support the Ayatollah, the IRGC anymore? Here's why. Iran missiles just struck an oil refinery in Bahrain. Bahrain is completely uninvolved in this war. So why is Iran bombing it? Because they're our ally. We're going to show the clip. Oil refinery in Bahrain. They're not involved. They're not Zionists. They're not Muslim. If anything, they're Muslim, but they're moderate. They're just not psychotic, death cult, weirdo Ayatollah Muslim. So this is the 12th. We're getting into the 12th country coming up. This oil refinery, completely uninvolved. We got more. This is breaking. Lebanese Christians and Druze, and I met these guys while I was in Israel on the Lebanon border. Lebanese Christians and Druze are refusing to take anyone from Hezbollah's stronghold of Daya, southern Beirut. So they're not taking their refugees. They're not taking them to the country. These are all little camps going all the way out to the horizon of Hezbollah. Nope, not allowed in the country. Pick the wrong side. I'm going to get into this a little bit because I'm trying to describe to you the philosophical origins in this war. And this is why it's so easy to get it wrong, including this kind of wrong from Tucker Carlson. Tucker says, could this be a religious war designed to rebuild the third temple on the ashes of Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigade? I hope not. He's so wrong. This is such a bad take, such a false take, and we'll prove it wrong right here because all that stuff I've been showing you backs this up, what I'm going to say, what this is going to say, actually. I'll have this guy say it. If it's a religious war, why is Iran attacking its Gulf neighbors who are also Muslim? Do you see that? Iran just spewed out 12 bombings. 12 countries it's bombing. Only one of them is Israel. The other 11 are all Muslim. Why is Iran bombing Muslim countries if it's a religious war and it's just done in the name of Israel and we're on Israel's side? We're Christians, they're Jews, whatever. This is not a Zionist war, guys. That's fake news and that's false. And that's what's being pumped out to my audience right now, that this is a Jew war and our soldiers are dying for Jews and Iran and not to defend us. This is an ideological war, not a religious war. True. Tucker is trying to pit Christians and Muslims against the Jews. True. He knows exactly what he's doing. And he also knows this was a KGB Russian tactic. Also true. And again, my warning is a Tucker. He's a brother in the Lord. I want him to come over to the good guys, to the right side. So, but how does he explain this? Lebanese Christians and Druze are refusing to take anyone from Hezbollah stronghold in Beirut. You see that? Christians and Muslims are united against Hezbollah. Jews and Muslims are united against Hezbollah. How else do you explain, as the cheering on of Iran around the world, you'll see three flags, the new Iran flag, America, and an Israel flag. How do you explain that if this is a religious war? Tucker, it's not a religious war. That's how you explain it. And finally, this last clip. Breaking, Iran has struck Azerbaijan's Nakhchivan International Airport. This marks the 12th country they've attacked in the region. This is what I mean. This is another, there's a lot of Muslims in that thing. So how do you explain this? The 12th country, Iran, is just spraying out. They're a death cult. I hope you guys can appreciate a little bit of clarity on this issue and subscribe to my channel, of course, but you don't have to subscribe. I'll just take your views. I appreciate that you views. I'm bringing you clarity on this war from an ideological standpoint because there's so much propaganda out there. And I hope you can see that my news is very different than propaganda. I'm making the case. Call chapter 631-961-8696.
Okay, that was a good one to end there with Doug. I got a clip I'll play tonight where he was talking about Iran striking that one place there. So we played that News Sports video. That was good. Got a few other stuff out. Everybody have a good afternoon, and I'll be back tonight sometime. And thanks, Bod. Hey, Fine Eagle, Carol, Tim, Lucy. Watts must be busy. And the new people in chat, thanks for coming in. Hope you're liking it. And more stuff tonight. Please hit like, subscribe to the backup channels, and stay safe, stay strong, keep the faith. Never give up. Signing off, Chico New for the first show for the day. We'll see you soon.